Today I'm going to show you how to convert a low resolution JPEG into vector shapes. The reason we want to convert this graphic from 72 dpi to vector shapes is because then we can reduce or enlarge it to any size we need for any project without the loss of quality. We're going to use PowerTrace inside CorelDRAW to create our graphic. I will show you the basics of the Settings tab and Color tab inside PowerTrace to make your graphic look great. Let's get started. If you'd like to follow along with this actual logo, you can download it along with the written tutorial. Let's click on our logo, and you can see in the status bar that it's a 72 by 72 dpi image. And that's not good for enlarging for posters or anything like that, because you can see it's pixelated. If you enlarge it, it's only going to get worse. So what we need to do is trace this with PowerTrace. So let me show you where those options are. If you come into Bitmaps menu and you come down to Outline Trace, you'll see all the options here, and each option has a little bit different settings, so you got to pick which one works best for your artwork based on the description here. You can also, if we click off, we can click on the Trace Bitmap button here in our interactive toolbar, and there's our same options again, which is just a quicker way to get to it. Another setting in PowerTrace is called Quick Trace. Quick Trace allows you to perform a quick trace based on one of the presets or the last used setting. This is configured in the options. Let me show you where. If you go to Tools, Options, Workspace, and PowerTrace, and you can edit the settings here. But we're going to cancel out of that. A couple more options in PowerTrace are Centerline Trace, which includes a technical illustration setting to trace black and white illustration with thin, faint lines, or a line drawing setting to trace black and white sketches with thick, prominent lines. Okay, let's start our PowerTrace now. We'll click on Trace Bitmap and then go down to Outline Trace, and let's pick Logo to get started. And on the left hand side here is the original, and then here's our trace. And now we can use these trace controls to adjust these settings to make it look great. So as we can see, there's some pieces missing. Our Y doesn't look so good, the A and some pepperoni pieces are missing, so let's use these settings and I'll show you how to make it look better. So for detail, so let's just drag this slider up till we start to see some of those parts reappear. And we're just about there. Let's go a little higher so we can see all those pepperoni parts. There we go. That looks good. The smoothing setting, which we probably don't need in this logo, will, if you drag it up, you'll see how it starts to smooth out edges, but we don't need that in this one. So let's drag this down. You might need that if you have a jagged trace from a scan or something like that, and it might smooth out the edges for you. But the next setting is our corner smoothness, which our Y here doesn't look so good. So let's pull up the corner smoothness and see if that fixes that. There we go. It's looking a little sharper. Pull it up a little more. Now our straight lines in our text look straight, and it makes our corners nice and square, so it looks better. If you want to delete your original image, you can click that. We won't do that for this one, but if you sometimes you need to keep your original image to do some fine-tuning on the final image so you make sure things come out the way you want them to. We can remove our background, so let's click that and see what happens. So what that does is it does a guess and picks and deletes the background. Anywhere you see squares now, these checkerboards, that means there's transparency. It will show through to the background. If you want to delete a specific color, you can choose specific color and click our eyedropper. And now we can do it manually, and we can click on our white, and we can hold shift and click here, and that will delete our background. If we just think we need to delete all our white, we can shift and click here, and oh, that ain't going to work. We don't want to do that. So let's show you where the undo is. You can jump back over here and undo that step, so we're back to where we were. So now it's removing the background. Another option we have when we select a specific color is to completely remove it from the entire image. So if we click this checkbox for our logo here, let's see what happens. It deletes all our white. But we don't want that one for this image, so we're going to uncheck it. Merge adjacent objects of the same color does exactly what it says. If there's certain little pieces of green got traced next to the green, it'll merge it together. And remove object overlap would make all the pieces laying on top cut through like cookie cutters. Sometimes that's handy and sometimes it's not, but you need it on to, if you want to group the objects by color, it'll group all your reds together and group all your greens together, so your separations are kind of ready-made for any cutting or things you need to do to your object for vinyl cutting or things like that. But we don't need that, so we're going to leave that off today. Now we're going to tweak our colors. If we go up to our Colors tab and it shows you all our colors individually, how they're listed. If you see diagonal lines, that's because that color is actually selected. So it shows you what pieces are actually in that color. We have a couple of whites, it looks like here, so let's merge those together. So what you need to do is we can merge colors to get rid of that extra white that make it all the same. So if we click on the first white and hold Control and click on the second white and click merge, then it makes them the same. And it didn't quite make them white, but if we want them white, we can come down here and say edit and click white and make it pure white. There we go, we got pure white back. And maybe we don't like the red of the pepperoni, we want it to be a true darker pepperoni color. We can click on that color and click edit, and we can drag it down here and make it a little darker. So then we got a true pepperoni color to make it pop a little more. If you need to delete a color, just select the color and come down to the trash icon and click it, and that color gets deleted. Also, if you come up here to color mode and you know you need spot colors or you need CMYK, you can set that automatically inside PowerTrace. So let's click the RGB here and let's scroll down to solid coded colors, Pantone colors, spot colors, and it will automatically set all those colors to equivalent values in the spot colors. Or if you know you need CMYK, just click CMYK. And we're looking pretty good here, and we can click OK. Okay, we're back inside the CorelDRAW interface. Our trace is laying right on top of our JPEG, so let's pull it aside and do some comparing. And as I'm looking at this, I realized we didn't have our detail slider up high enough. We're missing a couple pieces here on the mushrooms and a part on the Z, so we're not completely correct. But if you needed to fix that, all you would need to do is retrace it and pull up that detail slider a little bit and you'd be good to go. But we're not going to fix that there. I'm going to show you some more things of how to look at your logo and scale it up to be ready for printing a large sign. So one more thing I can show you actually is if you go to View and Wireframe, you can see here's the comparison of here's your bitmap and its pixels versus now your new trace is vector lines and ready to be enlarged to any size. So let's go back out of View and we'll go back to Enhanced and let's delete our bitmap. Let's select our trace and hit P on our keyboard to center it to the page. Let's zoom back out. Another improvement I could see we can do to our logo here is we can make a perfect circle for our black circle because it didn't trace as clean as it could have traced. So there's an easy way to do that. So if you come over here with your logo selected, come over to the rectangle tool and hold your shift key and double click. What that's going to do is create a rectangle the shape of your selected object. But now we need to make it round. So another easy way to do that is to come over to your shape tool and then also hold shift on your keyboard and drag in and it makes it a circle. Now we can come up to the interactive toolbar and send it to the back. We can also now ungroup, select back on our trace and ungroup our objects, and we can delete the big black shapes. And now we can click on our circle and make it black. And let's regroup them by lassoing around them and grouping our objects with Control-G or group on the interactive toolbar. And now let's double check our white to make sure our white around our logo is gone. So we can come back over with nothing selected, double click on our rectangle, and that's going to create a rectangle the size of the page. And let's change it a color and make it blue. So look, perfect clean circle on a nice background. Now let's scale our new trace and vector objects. And since it's vector objects, we can make it any size we need to. So let's make it 36 inches. Let's come up here in the toolbar and type 36 and hit enter. And now if I zoom back out, you see you have a very large sign ready to print or at any size you need. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to try it on your own, download the JPEG and view our written tutorial as well. For more CorelDRAW tutorials, visit the Discovery Center at learn.corel.com or find us on YouTube.